Today's episode of the Book of Boba Fett was single-handedly the best piece of Star Wars TV we have ever had. Now, I said in last week's review that I didn't want this episode or this show to become The Mandalorian 2.5, and that is my only criticism, is that it kind of has. This entire episode is about The Mandalorian. It feels like an episode of The Mandalorian, but the sad thing is, it's so good. This episode is so damn good in every single aspect that I just can't fault it. As an original trilogy fan, as a prequel fan, as a fan of The Mandalorian, this episode just knocks it out the park. Not only does it have the perfect length, 50 minutes, beautiful, there's everything you could want as a Star Wars fan in this episode. We have incredible action, Mandalorian brawls, we have storytelling, we have world building, we have prequel references, sequel references, original trilogy references, character building for the Mandalorian, for the other characters that were around him, that real grungy feeling of the bounty hunter underworld that, to be honest, I don't think we've had at all. It kind of felt like what George Lucas imagined with Star Wars Underworld that got cancelled years ago. Like, this episode just has it all. The fight at the beginning of the episode with the Mandalorian taking on those thugs with the Darksaber was just absolutely brilliant. It was violent, it was brutal. You could see the visceral nature of the Mandalorian, and you could feel the visceral nature of the Darksaber. Actually seeing a lightsaber in action cut through people like a knife through butter for the first time in a long time was just brilliant. I really, really enjoyed it. And that further development of the Mandalorian creed and the Mandalorian culture, about where it's come to, seeing the bombing of like, there was so much in this episode, and it was just, I'm loving as well this kind of diversion, this hinting, where is the story going to go? I personally believe that they're going to push this story into a Mandalorian Jedi story, where the Mandalorian is trained by Jedi, perhaps Luke, perhaps somebody else, and we're going to be pushed into that idea that the Darksaber was wielded by a Mandalorian Jedi who united the Mandalorians. I feel that they're going to go in that direction and try and do that again with Din Djarin, but like I said, the way they're telling this story, it's giving you ideas about what could happen, but not necessarily pushing them, and I really enjoy that because it allows for speculation, it allows for theory crafting and just general thought processes when it comes to storytelling in this regard, and I'm really excited for The Mandalorian Season 3 just based on this episode. Also, I loved the intimacy of the storytelling when it came to the Mandalorian going into his psyche and seeing how he's struggling to deal with not having Grogu anymore. The way he interacts with the Rodian child I thought was really, really good, and you could, even without voice, even without facial expressions, the way the Mandalorian comes across just using his physical emotion and his physical emotive was just incredible, because you can really feel the pain behind the character. And also, we got to talk about the N1 Starfighter. There was a lot of leaks about this, and I'm so glad they were true. When I was a kid, there was two ships that I always used to love. The Republic gunship and the Naboo N1 Starfighter. And just seeing it again, but modernized and treated like it's this beautiful, rare sort of sports car, which it is. I love it. And every single little interaction when they were building the ship, seeing the BD-1 droid that was introduced in Fallen Order, like, there was just so much in this episode that you took in as any fan of any piece of Star Wars media and just went, yeah, I like this. Like, it speaks to everyone. It has everything. And I think the director, Bryce Dallas Howard, she absolutely killed it. She really did kill it. For me, this episode of the Book of Boba Fett was true Star Wars at its core. Everything down from the sets to the visual design to the audio design, everything felt true to Star Wars. And like I said, I could criticize the fact that this is the Book of Boba Fett and not the Book of the Mandalorian. But when you create an episode like this that makes you truly feel like a kid again, I can't fault it. And for me, this is what Star Wars is about. It's about creating interesting stories and telling new stories, but also being able to capture the magic of the original movies and to capture the magic that captivated so many people when they were younger. And this episode does that in every single way. and I loved every second of it. We've got 2 episodes now, and like I said, I'm still really excited for where they're going to move the story forward. I do hope that now we get the Book of Boba Fett, and that we finally conclude this kind of Tatooine gang war, and we really dive into that story and get some more about Boba. And I'm super, super excited to see how this show concludes. I thought it started pretty poorly, but it's gotten better and better and better as it's gone along. And I'm just so excited to see where this story goes and where it concludes and how it's going to jump into The Mandalorian, because this for me is peak Star Wars. This for me is the episode that they should try to emulate every single week with these bounty hunter shows. Oh, just wonderful. Fantastic. If you enjoyed the review, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know exactly when my review of next week's episode goes up. And I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, may the Force be with you. Always.